Try that one. All you see is chat. Oh, that's old stuff. Hold on a second. Let me get this chat going here real quick. Oops. Okay, that's it live there. Okay, I'm going to pop out the chat. Go back to OBS. Get the chat going here. Alright, can you guys see me now? And hear me? That would be a good thing if you can. Excellent. I don't know what the hell happened before. It's kind of weird. Strange things happen, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so I got the chat open up. So, let me take a quick drink here. I know it's not alcoholic, but maybe it needs to be. Alright. I guess the first time is always going to be a little problematic, huh? Anyway. Hey, Chasko, how you doing? And the rest of you guys already said hi too, so I know you're here. You know I'm here, whatever. You got the ticker on the bottom. Yeah, I got the ticker going. I got a lot of things done. I just can't put your name, put your chat up on the screen. That's another deal. I'll be working on that more later on, but there's no easy way to do it right now, and I was getting kind of frustrated after spending literally about 10 hours messing with it. Only take 170. You got it, Artie. So, let me give you a quick demonstration of what I got, and then we'll go deeper into it. So that's me there. We have an overhead camera. Hey, look, it's me. Here's a stream deck right here. We have what I call the tunnel view, and I do have trains running. I'll give that a try in a minute there, Mystic. I'm not sure if that'll work, but I'll give it a try. This I call the east view. And this is the view from Doodle Lake, which of course, as you well know, is the nude lake, is Doodle Lake. But you can't see the actual nudes, but they're there. Hey, Digger, good to see you again. So, I got a long train. I was shooting for 50 cars on the train, but I was having too many problems. So I got it down. I think it's at 47 now. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, well, we're actually broadcasting in true 1080, which is what you can't do in StreamYard. So, and then here's my oh, and then I got the rear cam. So you can see me from. This is what I look at when I'm doing my thing. You can see I got a really huge monitor. And there's my pepperoni. That's my my doorbell train sound thingy there. And that's pretty cool. But here's a really good one right here. You're going to love this one. This is what I call the multicam. You got three of the cameras looking at the trains and one of me up there, so I can still talk to you and you can still watch the trains close up, which is kind of cool. And of course, if I want, I've also got music to go with it. Maybe. If I can get to it. I don't know if you can hear the music or not. I got here. Yeah, I got this. I'm using my phone as a monitor. No music. I don't know why. I must have something turned off, so I'll have to work on that. But anyway, you can watch the trains as we're yakking. Oh, you do hear it? Okay. Francisco, you need a bigger one, a bigger monitor. I actually have a 50-inch in the garage. If this one ever takes a dump, I'll trade it out for the 50-inch. This is a 42. So, yeah, I could always go bigger. Got plenty of room for a bigger. Hell, I should just put a 75 up there, right? Then I could sit back there and watch it. Yeah, but it is what it is. Pepperoni doesn't taste anything like pepperoni. I wouldn't know, Martin. I've never tried it. The dogs love it. But I've not attempted to taste it. I probably should, though, just for fun. I don't know. I'm not really into dog food too much. So, this is what we got going now. So, of course you missed the intro, but that's fine. The outro is pretty much the same. And then I've got this part here where I can actually, let's see, I gotta change this first. Oops. Oh, damn it. Let me go over here to, alright, there we go there. Alright, so we got, how'd that happen? That's weird. Things aren't working quite the way they're supposed to be here, I don't think. Oh. In the wrong thing. Duh. I'll get this right eventually. So, I can bring up web pages now, which is pretty cool. So, this one here is that anybody who's curious, it's the LaBelle woodworking. That was for the passenger cars that I can't remember who got it. One of the Johns, I think, bought them. You know, we'll go into that later. That wasn't really supposed to come up just yet. So let me go where I was supposed to go. There we go. So this is where you get the, yeah, I'm back now. This is where I got the Stream Deck from Amazon. I actually got a little cheaper. I see how they change the prices like daily on this stuff. I don't know why. I paid $114 for mine. This one's $116.99. But I tell you, it's a great thing. You should probably check it out. And if anybody needs a link, I could type the link in the chat if they need it. Anything is good with a hot sauce. So, that's pretty cool. And let's see, let's go back to the train view here. I'll kick the music down a little bit. Okay. Craziness, I'll tell you. So, anyway, that's what this thing is, and I'll tell you, it works really cool. There's a lot of things, and it's all programmable. Just leave it to me to make a mess over here. So what you got here is you got it's complete. Whoop, wire out of the way here. It's completely programmable. Anything you type in, you can change the icons, and it's really neat. I even got a picture of me up there for the main, or one of my pictures up there. And you can really do, there's a million things you could probably do with this. It's really neat. And it's actually relatively easy to use once you figure it out. I probably shouldn't put it that way. I would watch YouTube videos to see how to do the setup initially, because that's what I did. And it made things a lot easier. Hey, Steven, good to see you. See you made it back. That's good. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning. I don't know why. Or how, for that matter, but there were. Alrighty, so. Dang, just found you again, Jim. What did I miss? You didn't really miss much. Let's talk a little bit about the, I guess I could do it all over again. It's no big deal. The different camera shots. So this is the main of me. Get a nice little scrolling ticker down there. Got the overhead camera, which is handy for when you're doing overhead work. I call this the tunnel cam, since it looks down in the tunnel. This is the east camera. And this is the doodle cam, because it's right in front of Doodle Lake, which is the nudist lake. And I couldn't think of a better name for it, so I just went with that. Then we have a back end view. You can see what I'm looking at. Got a pretty big chat right up there. Huh? I'm still working on the chat, because what happens is if I change anything on the screen like this, I lose the chat. So then I got to go back here and bring it back up. So there's got to be a way to lock it in there. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I will. So actually, I think you have to do here. Maybe let me try something else here real quick. Copy. I said I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. Worst case scenario, I screw it all up, right? Got that. Okay, can you guys still see and hear me, I hope? Yeah, that is a big screen. Oh, why did it do that? I said, still fooling around with this stuff, trying to get it right. I will eventually get it right, I hope. Alright, you can still see and hear me alright? Everything's good? I hope. Yep, okay, cool. Thanks, Digger and Kyle, for answering. So that's where we're at here. Decaf is like taking a shower in a raincoat. That thing got any games on it? Actually, I think you can program games into it if they're on your computer. I don't have any on this computer, so no. But yeah, there's crazy stuff on here. Including people trying to call me. Or not. Let's see what else we got. Do I use a 27-inch curved LED screen? I've seen them curved ones. They're kind of cool, but I don't really have a use for it. But I like big, and it's just the way it is. Hey, Plumber, how you doing? Good to see you. I need a big curved monitor, but that's way in the future. Well, the good news is the monitor prices are coming down. I had to replace the one on my main computer in the house, and I had a 37-inch in there, and I went to a 40, and I got the 40 for $178, which wasn't bad, you know. So I'm surprised at how much cheaper these things are getting. Games he got isn't permitted on YouTube. No, I don't have any of those games either. But it's a nice thought. Can it play Pong? No, probably not. Although I imagine if you had Pong on your PC, you could actually put it on the screen using the browser feature the same way I do this. I'm actually looking at the live stream. That's what you're seeing right now. I'm going to change that to back to this. And see, you can scroll through things too. But I have to be in the actual on the actual page to do it. But it's still pretty cool. The decaf is a popular drink, pointless drink. Well, yeah, it's like near beer, you know. Why go drinking if you're not going to drink real beer? Mike Stan looks like the thing I used to watch my tablet laying in bed. Well, it's not bad. Like I said, once I figured out how things sort of work by watching a few videos, instructional ones, and there's tons of them on the internet, I was able to figure out things like on my banner. I knew you could do it, I just didn't know how. So I typed in how to make a scrolling banner in OBS in the search bar, and it came up with 3 or 4 different videos. I watched the video, oh, I could do that, and got right through it. So it made a big difference, and it was very helpful. So like I said, there's a lot of different things you can do. And I'm sure I haven't even scratched the surface yet. Like I said, I know there's more that it can do, and there's actually technically there's 16 buttons on this, or 15. It's 30 actually. There's 15 on page 1, and if you hit the arrow, you get another 15 on page 2. So you can actually program 30 different buttons. I don't see where I would need anything like that, but Mystic Roarite, I have a Dremel. Yes, you do. How's it working for you? Have you played with it yet? A lot of fun, those things. And Martin says, why call it near beer when it's not even close? No, it really isn't either. Some nasty stuff. I had a friend who was an ex-alcoholic, or recovering alcoholic, however they put it. And he still liked to go to the bar, so I'd go with him. And I didn't want to, tempt him to drink real beer, so he would buy the near beer, and I'd get one too. And I tell you, that was the nastiest stuff I ever drank. Oh, you're quite welcome, John. No biggie. Dremel's my idea of technology. You betcha. Oh. So anyway, like I said, I want to put a total of 6 cameras if I get more. Is that John? My ex-brother-in-law drank O'Doul's. Ugh. Nasty stuff, too. I also drink diet sodas because of sugar problems. Yeah, but that diet stuff's actually worse for you. I don't drink diet drinks because you'll have bigger problems than diabetes. Or if you already have diabetes, it'll actually compound it down the road. Tom says that's in OBS. You need to set up an image file source and then point to the folder on your local hard drive. I have that on my OBS. It shows the other monitor. Huh. Well, see, I can only do one monitor on this because I have an integrated video card on the motherboard. If I want to do multiple monitors, which I'd like to do, have 2 monitors, maybe like a small one to the right just for the chat, I'd have to get an actual video card that I could plug in. Because like my computer in the house, I could put 6 monitors on that. So, yeah, there you go, Dave. How you doing? Ooh, excuse me. Aspartame is as bad or worse than sugar. It's worse, trust me. Yeah, but he said that might be one of the causes of Alzheimer's when you get older. And that's the last thing you want, trust me. Hear that, Dwight? You got John's infinite gratitude. That's cool. Wash your mouth out, Wigwag Workshop. How dare you even think of that? You control those cans with the whatchamacallit? Yeah, the thingamabob. Yeah, it's called the Stream Deck. And like I said, it's the top 5 buttons are for the cameras. And then this middle button on the end is for the 6th camera. And like I said, you can run as many cameras as you want with this thing, which is kind of nice. I mean, to a point. It all depends on your computer, of course. So I had no problem having 6 cameras plugged in simultaneously. I don't think you can do that with too many laptops. So laptops are, you might be limited to maybe 2 or 3 cameras tops, unless you got a really high-end laptop. But that's why I use a desktop in here. I'm not a big fan of laptops. I have one that I keep as a backup in case one of the desktops go down. What's wrong with Alzheimer's? You don't know you have it. That's true. And every day is a new day. My dad had Alzheimer's, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. He was lucky. His wasn't too bad. He still knew me, knew my wife. He was confused at times. He thought my wife was his wife. And he actually thought I was his dad. He had like 40 years on me. So and he couldn't remember anything recent. He remembered who the president was in 1930, but he couldn't tell you who the president was today. It was bad. So I'm not making fun of by any stretch, but it's a nasty disease, and it really scares the hell out of me. You know, because any one of us can get it. Let's see. I'm going to need to plan the cameras out for the expansion. Oh, absolutely, Artie. So unless you use IP cameras, then they do not need to be connected to the computer. I have a few of them on my OBS now. I think you got that backwards, Tom. I got USB cameras, and they're all connected to the computer. The wireless cameras don't need to be, but you would need some sort of a capture card for that, though, I believe. I think. I'm sorry to hear that, Digger. Like I said, it's not a fun thing. And Mystic John, his grandmother had it too. Oh, it's how my grandma is, Jim. Yeah, it's not a good disease. It's bad. I feel bad for anybody that. My ex-mother-in-law, she got it, and hers hit her hard and fast. Literally within a year, she didn't even know who she was. And she finally passed, I think after 2 years, she went ahead and passed away, but that was probably a blessing for her because she was in bad shape. So look at how dumb people are getting after drinking all these sugar-free crap. That's full of chemicals I wash truck parts with. Yeah, you're kind of right there, Artie. It's not good. I try and stay with his natural stuff. I would rather drink pure sugar. Cane sugar is actually fairly good for you. But it's hard to find stuff with cane sugar in them, especially sodas. I think the only soda with cane sugar you can find in the States is from Mexico. Makes you wonder how they're supposed to be the idiots, and they seem to be smarter than we are. Artie, we don't have Roo Poopa. Roo Papa here in the USA. Look at all the ice cream, all the chemicals. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, and there's no reason for it. All right, John, take it easy. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you next time. Yeah, well, Biden's got Alzheimer's too. They call it dementia, but I don't know what the hell the difference is. You know. And he should not be the president. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Okay, I'll see you soon. Cherry Coke is delicious. They still make Cherry Coke? I tried it a few times and then I don't see it anymore. Maybe the stores here just aren't carrying it. Yeah, Reagan had it too. Didn't Nixon get it too in the end, I think? They don't talk too much about him. I'm pretty sure he got it. Artie says, Pepsi here makes these drinks from sugar crystals. Coca-Cola makes it out of sugar syrup. I don't know what the hell. They use here that, what do you call it? I can never remember what it's called. It's not good for you either. I said, I don't know why they can't use natural stuff. This is ridiculous. There's really no reason not to. But, you know, that's what they do. So, anyway, what do you guys think of the Stream Deck? It's pretty cool. It's very easy to operate, but you can use it with StreamYard, but you have limited function with it. So as far as I know, any of the hotkeys you can use in StreamYard can be programmed on the Stream Deck. I haven't fooled with it because I wanted to go more than that. That's why I chose OBS. The vMix sounds nice, but it's expensive. Now the OBS is free, which is always a good thing for me because I hate spending money. That's it. High fructose corn syrup. Thanks, Chasco. I can never remember that. Stuff's really bad for you. They say that's what actually might cause diabetes. And I was a big Coca-Cola and Pepsi drinker for a good part of my life, so there's no reason no wonder why I'm diabetic. You know? Bullshit. What are you gonna do? Can you bring up guests in OBS? Yes, it can be done. I don't know how yet, but I did look into it, and it says you can invite guests, because I plan on doing that down the road soon. Actually, I hope. There's not much you can't do, and I said the only problem I'm having is, and it can be done, I just don't like the way it works, and that's to put a chat, the chat up on the screen, like, you can just click on somebody's chat and put it right up on the screen. It can be done in OBS, but it's difficult. It's not very reliable, I don't think. Jason the Train Freak, he said he did it, and he's actually running it through StreamYard. I looked into it. It can be done, but it's a pain in the butt. So you're opening them up. You're opening up StreamYard, and you got to do this, do that, and I just, I don't want to fool with it. I want to be able to push a button and be live. That's kind of what I want to do. So I'll figure it out eventually. I think there's got to be a way to do it. Dave says I drank diet soda. Yeah, well, of course, from the chemical sweetener. That they say that'll give you diabetes too. Stream Deck. Well, I paid $114 for my Stream Deck, and as a matter of fact, here it is right here. Amazon has it on sale right now for $116.99. So if you're interested in it, now's the time to buy it. I got mine last week. I paid $114. So apparently the prices vary on a day-to-day basis. I don't know what the deal is with that. But they're not as expensive as you think. And cameras, you can get cheap cameras. Most of my cameras, except for the main one, I paid either $10 or less for on Amazon. So, and they're good cameras. You can see they got a nice picture. They're 1080s. They have built-in microphones, although I have the mic shut off on them because I use the big mic here. But yeah, Stephen, Heath does use OBS. And because I think he's doing the same thing. He's going through StreamYard too. Because I believe he's the one who helped Jason set up his. So, this is, oh, wait a minute. Let me back up here a minute. It already says I use StreamYard to start up and then use OBS when it works on the side through StreamYard. Yeah, I guess that's how they do it. Like I said, it just seemed like too much work to me. Somebody needs to find a way to integrate it to where it always comes up on, because when you open up StreamYard, it's automatic. They need to figure out how to do that in OBS. When they get that done, that'll be great. And somebody will eventually figure it out. Sale will be over. No, not really, Artie. I mean, they're always checking. I've been looking at buying one of these now for about 4 months, and I always see them on sale, and they're generally less than $120. So, and that's for the 15 button one. They have the big one, the XL. I think it has like 60 buttons on it or something. That's kind of pricey, but what are you gonna do with all those buttons? you know. Hey, Heath, there you go. I said, what do you want to be able to do? What do you want to be able to do with push a button with multi-action on Stream Deck? You can push one button having so many things. Well, that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I can, change between cameras. Here's a rear view. I know you'll appreciate this one, Heath. I got the big monitor because I'm half blind, But, yeah, that's great because it's all the push of a button. We were talking about putting the overlay on the screen of the chat questions. When you click on a chat question, it brings it up on the main screen. I did it using a plug-in for Chrome, but I don't like the way it works. It's kind of buggy. And Jason told me, I guess because you helped Jason with it, I believe, that you can do it through StreamYard. I looked at that, and I said, yeah, that seemed like a pain in the butt, too. Let's see. I'm no longer using StreamYard, I'm just using OBS and a lot of plugins. So, how are you bringing up the overlay chat question on your screen, if you don't mind me asking? Is there a plugin for it that works for you? I don't have my eyeglass. I can't see anything. Hell, I can't see anything either. I got to get new glasses. Tomorrow I got to go see the eye doctor down in Naples. I'm hoping that they can get me fixed up. Yes, Tom, you can just, and it is. It's real easy. You manage your, manage the stream first, then hit the start button, and you're off and running. Yeah, struggling is an understatement, Digger. Thank God I got an even temper because I'd have threw the whole shit out in the street, right? So to bring up chat using OBS, use social stream from Steve Sigwin. Ooh, okay. Is it something I have to fool with, or is it something I can integrate in OBS and not have to mess with it anymore? Yeah, I use Brave, which is actually the same as Chrome, but without some of the spyware. Steven, so Social Steam by Steve Sigwin. Let me write that down because I'll forget it. Where'd my pen go? I have my glasses because I can't see it even right. How's that? Social Steam. So that's an OBS plugin then? I hope. You can use any Chromium-based browser, so Edge also works, or Opera. I don't use Edge or Opera. So I've been using Brave, which is Chrome based. I refuse anything Google except YouTube. Have everything Google blocked. There you go, Steven. Smart move. I just need to run a new line under the house to the back room for the internet, but the mud under the house was really bad. Yeah, put on the wetsuit. There's Jim Pepperoni Sticks. Wonder if he likes Tom's Trains Doritos Fun. Tell you what, Doritos is cheaper than the pepperoni. That bag was $13, and I go through a couple of bags a month. You know, whenever I come in there, all the dogs follow me, and they expect, a stick of pepperoni. I have 3 dogs, so, and they get mad at me if I don't give it to them. Let's see. Social Stream does take a bit to set up, but it's not too bad. I'll look into it. If I have any problems, I'll get a hold of you. Yeah, Brave is pretty good. I've had no issues with it. It's I was having problems with Chrome. I still have Firefox. I like Firefox, but they did something to it, and it's not the same. Yeah, see, Mozilla, it's the same thing, Firefox. I have it on the machine because when I download stuff, I have to, off of YouTube. I've got plugins for that, but they only work on Firefox. You can't do any downloads on Brave or even or Chrome for some reason, from YouTube. Somehow or another, I think they blocked all those add-ons. Real bacon would be cheaper. Yeah, maybe. Safari is mostly Mac, isn't it? I mean, I guess you could use it on a PC, but condolences to my UK. Oh, yeah, seriously. That sucks. Well, she was getting up there. I mean, it was just a matter of time, but still, now you guys got to put up with Charles. That's not good. DuckDuckGo. I've got DuckDuckGo on here somewhere, I believe. I like DuckDuckGo. I wish they had a better name. Yeah, Safari's Mac only. Okay. I use Edge, no problems at all. I don't like Edge. I didn't like Explorer. And all I saw was Edge was just a different name on Explorer. Hey, Waycross, how you doing? Good to see you. It messes up the system, especially after watching a stream. It takes forever to shut down. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm thinking about getting Chromebook runs. OS, no Windows. I'm only going to use to make video and they might do streams. Yeah, they're pretty inexpensive, I guess. I didn't like them because they're so limited. But if you're not going to use it as a regular computer, that might be your best bet. I've seen them as low as $75, believe it or not. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Let's see. So, yeah, that was my only real complaint with OBS, because I really wanted to do that. But I figured everything else out. I figured out how to get music, how to do the banner, how to set up the different cameras, the intro screen, the outro screen. I'm actually quite impressed with this Stream Deck. I think it's a great way to go. The foliage is nice too. I got lots of trees. I still got to make more. I've got a bunch that I still got to dip into the to get the green on it. The trunks. I print the trunks on most of them, and then I spray glue them, dip them into the grass or whatever, the flocking. And they actually come out pretty nice. I've still got more to make and more to put up. I got so much work to do in here, it's not funny. And unfortunately, I'm a big procrastinator on some things. You know, I want to get all my turnouts controls getting. I've got two turnouts that actually work properly. They're electric, and I've got three more boxes to do with about, I think about 10 turnouts at the whole bunch of them. I've got the electronics laid out for them already. I just gotta wire it up. Yeah, I know, Tom, you got a really cool way of doing the trees with the wire. That's pretty neat. Holy crap, the stream is actually working. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Yeah, it's actually going. We had a rough start there. I don't know what happened. You know what I did? I tried to set it up to where it would go online later, you know, because I do that in StreamYard. I'll set up StreamYard like in the morning, and it'll come on at exactly 5:55. And I did the same with this, and somehow or another it got all messed up. So I don't know, maybe I'm not doing something right, but in the future I might just wait and do it manually and not fool around with it. Is your new layout taking shape, Mystic John? Ah. John, have you started on your new layout yet, or you're still settling in on your new house? So, issues with my drill and my lack of knowledge. I know my lack of knowledge get in your way. Yeah. You kind of learn as you go in this hobby, the way I see it. Yeah. I don't think anybody goes into it fully knowing what they're doing. Maybe some do, but I certainly didn't. I have the skills for a lot of different things, but it's a whole different deal when you're using them in the hobby, you know. Let's see. Artie says, I need to finish my crane first and start with everything else. Crane's almost done. Just need to find the pulley wheel that fell on the carpet and the tiny pin. Well, that's gone. Digger says your drill needs charging. Dwight says, don't you have a new Dremel? Yeah, we're just going to do so much with the Dremel. There's still things you need other tools for. He says, lack of knowledge, what about no knowledge? I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, that's not something you probably should brag about, Heath. But hey, you know, I think we all go into this really not knowing a whole lot. You know, no matter what your skill level is, has very little to do with the actual hobby. I mean, in the beginning. So you're thinking, okay, I want to build a train layout. What do I do first? You know, and how do I do it? And because there's no set way of doing it, no right or wrong way, I guess. It's a learn as you go thing. That's just the way it is. Yeah, Dwight, you can drill with a Dremel, but I would not recommend it. Some things you really don't need the excessive speed to drill with. You'll wind up overheating your drill bit or the actual work you're doing on. Artie says, cordless tools with me don't get along well. I'll join the club. And that's why I have to have extra batteries, because as soon as I pick up a drill and go there, yeah, oh damn it, run out there, change the battery, oh yeah, we're good to go. Dremels can't strip wire or turn screws. That's true. Unless you got a really long screw with fine thread. But it would have to be literally about this long. So, you know, so I have a hand drill for small bits. Yeah, I've got my little hand drill for that too. I actually got two of them. Because I lost the first one and I bought another one. As I bought the other one, the first one turned up, just like it usually does. Yep, me too. Drill 2 holes, battery goes dead. Yeah, that's the nature of, cordless stuff, I guess. It's just the way it is. It could be worse. Another issue I encountered in Home Depot only had wood screws with the star drive, and my drill set doesn't have it. I'll tell you what, though, I use a lot of they're called deck screws mostly, and I love the deck screws because you have so much less problems with them. Get the bits; they're worth the money. I mean, it's a couple dollars for the bit to put in your drill, and they don't go bad really. I mean, as long as you don't, as long as you keep it tight into the screw, you'll be fine. My wife tries to screw in those things, and she doesn't put pressure on the screw, and then it winds up stripping out the bit. It doesn't strip the screw; it strips the bit, which is worse. Well, maybe. So as long as you keep good pressure on the screw, you'll be fine. But those Torx or stars, that's the way to go. I would like to see them completely do away with Phillips bits. I hate Phillips. Robertson bits, the only way to go. Yeah, there you go. Torx screws, the only way to go. Well, I said anything's better than flathead or Phillips. I'm not a big fan of Phillips at all. Screw we get in here at the moment is crap. Get that star bit at Home Depot. Yeah, everybody sells them. You can get them at Walmart too, believe it or not. I have quite a few of them. And when I buy the box of deck screws, they always come with a bit anyway, which is nice. So I've got tons of bits. Posi driver good if you use the correct size. Yeah, that'll work too, Digger. Deckmate screws come. Yeah, Deckmates come with a free screw. Free bit rather. Try using a screw gun on a flathead screw. I don't think so. Although, hey, you know what? I got these things right here. I bought these when I did the drywall here. See if I can find them. No, I had a few of them left. Well, this is for a filth, but I think they make these for a slotted too. And it's kind of hard to see here. Let me try the overhead. There you go. You put this in your drill, standard hex end. You put the screw in, and actually this is for setting drywall screws, believe it or not. But they work great for if you're doing any kind of Phillips screw work, and it'll set it level with your work, which is nice. So I bought a set of those. They were pretty cheap. And of course, here's your Torx bit. Well, you can see that. And this is the one that they usually give you with the box of deck screws. Like I said, I've got a ton of those things. So they're handy to have because it makes your work a lot easier. Because I have so many problems with Phillips, and if you have a holder where you can stick that bit in that screws into the drill, a lot of those are magnetic, and it'll magnetize this thing here, your bit, so the screw will stay on it, which is a real plus as well. It's just great when people don't borrow your tools permanently too, then one can use the right screw. Well, that's true. But you should be like me, never loan your tools out. Hey, James from Dundas Junction, how you doing? You already forged lags for track nails. Maybe a tad much. Yeah, probably. Let's see. What the hell is that? I got weird noises happening every now and then. Hey Bernard, how you doing? I don't know if I said hi to you or not earlier, but I'm saying it now. Too many sizes of torque bits. Yeah, that's true. But depending upon what you're working on, they're pretty standardized. I have all kinds of different. I've got a full setup for the snap-on. But for these two, I think I've got a set. I buy these every now and then. They're on sale. And, you usually find these in Home Depot. Sometimes even Walmart. I don't have the handle in here right now, but go back to the overhead. I got this set here. Has all the different bits in it. And this was like $5. And it comes with a handle, which I've got somewhere else at the moment, but these are the way to go. I mean, if you want to stock up on bits, I wouldn't recommend them for professional use, but for do-it-yourself at home stuff, they're just fine. John, get one of each when in doubt. That's true. Although, well, that could get expensive, I guess. That's why I said you buy those sets. They're fine. I get tired of running around the screw to get it to go in. All right, John. When in doubt, buy another set of bits. There you go. Bernard, see, when I make something, I want it to last and strong enough to throw bodies on it. Hey, that's the way to do it. There's nothing wrong with overkill. And I'm a firm believer in overkill. And like my benches, I can walk on them if I wanted to. I mean, I really can't because of my condition, but if I were able-bodied, I'd be able to walk on them. They'd support my weight with no problem. And I weigh 220. So, you know. Gerald, yeah, the DeWalt makes good bits. Matter of fact, I got one right here. You can probably tell because it's got the yellow stripe on it. That's DeWalt. And I buy these all the time too, especially the Phillips, because they seem to be the best for the Phillips bit. And that's something you don't want to cheap on is a Phillips bit, because they go bad real quick, unless you buy good ones. Let's see. Milwaukee are the best. Have so many tools and tend to use the same one over and over. Every tool is a hammer. They can be. Depending upon what you're doing with it. And Frank says to be prototypical with a steam engine or a railroad, you have to use flathead screws. Yeah, technically you're supposed to, but I won't tell if you don't. You know, you're a railroad dude anyway, you damn well please, right? You can rebuild the Detroit diesel on my bench work. There you go. That's some heavy duty stuff. I had to keep screw bits locked up at work. Drills wouldn't disappear, but bits would. Yeah, absolutely. Is DeWalt American made? I know they were owned by Black & Decker. I wasn't aware that they were owned by Black & Decker. I'm pretty sure they're American made, but are you sure about them being owned by B&D? Gerald says yellow stripe means impact rated. Really? I didn't know that. Huh. Hey Thomas, how you doing? Illinois Central? Wigwag, do a video. I want to see that. Martin, need to paint them pink. No, we're not painting them pink. DeWalt was originally Canadian, so you know it's the best. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I like the DeWalt. I bought what's the green ones? The Makitas. I have two Makita cordless drills. And the drill itself is good. The batteries are shit. And they're very expensive, and it's hard to find aftermarket batteries for them. I think I still have both the drills, but the batteries are no good. And I seem to be doing. I do better with the DeWalt. DeWalt grows legs and do walkabouts. So yeah, I'll bet. Let's see, Jim. I have an Illinois Central Railroad throttle pin. I don't know what that is, but that's cool. Back in my millwright days, my nickname was Benny Overkill. There you go. Yeah, Overkill is good. Yes, DeWalt is definitely B&D now. I'll be damned. I'm not a big fan of Black & Decker, but I'll still keep the DeWalt. But Black & Decker and me never got along. Their tools just fall apart on me. Always have. Alright, so Canadians don't matter. I believe DeWalt was better before. Oh, wait a minute. Getting fast again. I have a Milwaukee drill and a grinder. Okay. I believe DeWalt was better before B&D purchased them. I just got Ryobi and throw them away. I've got a Ryobi jigsaw and the big saw. I can't think what the hell it's called now. It's like a jigsaw but bigger. I must have Alzheimer's. Now, those are two Ryobis I have, and they're okay. Plus, I have the Ryobi chop saw, and they're good machines. I have no problems with them. Frank says yes, Black & Decker owns them. Also, newer DeWalt's made in China. Differences in box black with yellow lettering, China yellow with black lettering, USA, I believe. Okay. I like my DeWalt tools. Everything runs on 20-volt packs. Yeah, I said the newest one I bought runs on a 20-volt pack. And it came with 2 packs, and I've had it now for going on 2 years. And I use that drill literally every day on something. And they're holding up really great. I'm really surprised. Plus, it's lightweight. My old DeWalt's the big sucker with the big 18-volt batteries on them. I bought that. It was stolen. I bought it off a guy. I knew it was hot. I gave him $10 for the drill, the charger, and 1 battery. I figured I got a deal. You know, I don't know where he got it from. I really didn't care, but I bought it, and I guess he wanted a crack rack or something. You know. Let's see. Mystic says he's got to head out for dinner with the wife. Thanks for the help, guys. We'll be back at Home Depot tomorrow. All right, John, take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend, and enjoy your dinner. Dave says, still using my Craftsman C3 tools. There you go. I had a Craftsman skill saw. The thing was ancient. It was all metal. And I don't know whatever happened. I think I bought it at a garage sale for like $5 a long time ago. And I had it for many years. Now I've got an actual skill saw, but I bought brand new. Let's see. Aussie Artie says, I've been using cheap power tools from Ozito. Cheap but pretty good built. 2 layouts out of it and rebuilt 6 truck trailers. Never, it must be something that's Australian. We don't have that here. Ozito. Sounds cool, though. Ryobi makes a great tool for model railroaders. Yeah, actually they do, James. Like I said, I've utilized them here in the train room. I don't like Bud, but that's all I have. Oh, being Black & Decker. If that's all you got, that's fine. But, you know, if I had to go out and buy something, I would never buy a Black & Decker. And they're not cheap anymore either. They're actually gotten kind of pricey. They're almost comparable now to like DeWalt or, you know, Ryobi. Actually, Ryobi's cheaper than DeWalt, but they're still expensive for Black & Decker. You know what happened? You know, these companies, they go off in different. You know, Black & Decker makes coffee pots, coffee makers. They make power tools. They make outdoor lawn equipment. They should have stuck with the tools because a long time ago, Black & Decker was actually a pretty good tool. But the newer stuff is literally garbage. Steven said, James, I bought the Ryobi cordless glue gun and rotary tools for my lady. There you go. I said they're good for hobby tools, without a doubt. I want an old DeWalt radial arm saw. Those are awesome. Yeah, they are, Heath. Ryobi is crap. Well, not really. I mean, they're not professional tools, but they're not bad. It depends. Like I said, if you're running a business, you probably don't want Ryobi. You know, you want Makita, DeWalt, the name brands. And, you know, because like anyhow, you get what you pay for to some degree. But for homeowners, Ryobi is fine. Heath, I had about 4 of them, gave them away. I got a cordless Ozito electric screwdriver, and that's the only cordless tool that never given me issues. That's something I wish I had, was a cordless screwdriver. I have to buy one of these days. Agree on a radial arm saw, not sure on brand. Ryobi electric screwdriver is my most used. How much do you want to pay, Heath? I have a 16-inch radial. There you go. Hey, Ken, how you doing? Glad to see you. I don't have enough use for a radial arm saw. That's why I never bought one. The chop saw works right, but I wish I would have got the newer chop saw. That's they got a name for them. They actually move back and forth. I can't remember what they're called now, but it's a neat idea, and I should have bought it. It wasn't that much more than what I paid for mine. Radial arm saws are not safe. Well, in the wrong hands, nothing is safe, James. I had a shop teacher in high school. He was demonstrating how not to use one. Went across. See if I can get the camera right here. Took the saw and cut right down here back to his wrist with the radial arm saw. Grabbed his hand calmly, said, well, guys, that's how you don't use it. I got a hospital now, so continue on your projects. I'll see you tomorrow. And he walked out the door. I mean, the guy was so calm about it, it was weird. But yeah, he definitely didn't use it correctly. Let's see. Heath, you don't have any space left in your apartment, man. You need to get a warehouse. Saw also needs around 4 square feet, so then you need space each side of it. It's from my old shop. Oh, yeah. That's what I said. You need a lot of room. I don't have room for it either, really. Nope, not now. I had my walkie tools back in 70 cents using them in mining. These mine mechanics run 75-80% battery Milwaukee. Yeah. I said it's a good tool. Yeah, I got one here. It's useless, but split rock won't fit in the power socket. Wrong voltage, huh? We have a Black & Decker radial arm saw, 7.5 horse, 60-inch blade. Yeah, and that's a powerful machine there. James Heath, I did a service call at a printing factory, removed them, installed miter, saw much safer. Yeah, absolutely, they really are. I don't know why though, because it's like anything else. If you're paying attention, you should be. And I always, whenever I'm working with power tools, especially saws, I pay attention. You know, you could be talking to me, I'll completely ignore you. I will not take my eyes off my work because that's how things happen. You know. Yeah, the radial arm saw does look cooler, but and like I said, I think if you're careful, you probably wouldn't get hurt. But what happens is people get so used to using them things that they literally do it with their eyes closed, and that's when things happen. You know, you're not paying attention. 15-inch Hitachi chop saw. Yeah, I like the chop saw. Like I said, I think it's pretty good. Safety first, without a doubt. I was with a guy when I was 16 years old. I was working, apprenticing with a carpenter. We were on a job site on a Saturday. Nobody else was, no, it was Sunday. Nobody else was around. He was running a chop saw, cutting the trim pieces, you know, baseboard. He was just whipping out the thing. I said, that guy's going to whack his hand off. As soon as I thought it, I hope I didn't make it happen. He went ahead, he cut from this end of his hand all the way over. It was hanging by a So only me and him were out there. They didn't have cell phones back then, and there wasn't a payphone to be found anywhere in the area. So I ripped my T-shirt off, wrapped his hand up, and took him to the hospital. I mean, they fixed him up, but it was kind of scary. But he was kind of cool about it. I mean, some people really freak when they cut themselves, and other guys are like, well, I messed up. I was at a job site when I was painting a new construction, and this kid, he probably wasn't 17, 18 years old. He was cutting a piece of 2x6. It was a short piece, and he had it wedged against his leg, and he's cutting this way, right? And I'm thinking, boy, that kid's stupid. Well, he whacked his thumb off with the skill saw. Actually, the thumb actually flew by me because I was painting the outside. I made a note where it went. The kid just went nuts. I mean, he just started screaming, running around in circles. Took 5 guys to take him down. And then the super came out and he said, what the hell's going on here? So the guy said, oh, he cut his thumb off. I said, does anybody know where it went? I said, yeah. You want to go get it for you? So I went and retrieved the thumb. They put it in some ice. Took him to the hospital. He came back later that day. They had sewn it back on. He'll be fine. But, I mean, the kid went ballistic, man. It was just unbelievably over-exaggerating himself. I guess it really scared him. I don't know. See, my opinion, the slider chops now down, beat the old radials. Hands down. Yeah, so it's a sliding chop saw. I couldn't think of that. I should have bought one because I really could have used it. Because sometimes I've got I think mine's a 15 or a 16 inch. I think it's a 16 inch. And you could only cut, roughly, I think it's like 6-inch boards with it. Anything wider than that, you're not going to do it without flipping it. So if I would have got I already forgot what it's called. the slider chop saw. You've got more room. You can do more cutting with it. You can cut bigger pieces of wood. My radio arm saw was not calibrated very well. I cut a piece of wood twice and it was still too short. Yeah, that could be a problem. Heath there designed a rip, so that is why the head rotates. Of course. You will cut yourself, Heath, with that, probably. I tell you, that's not something fun you want to do. I whacked my finger off, not with a saw, with a power window motor in a car. I was in a hurry. And I stuck my hand in there to pull the motor away, and the window was in a down position. It was broken out. I didn't realize it. And when I pulled the motor, the arm come up and just tore my finger. Right, it literally was hanging by a thread. I put it on myself. I actually did a pretty good job. But, yeah, things do happen when you're not paying attention. So the most important thing is to pay attention to what you're doing. Dwight, less chance than with the trim saw I currently have. Yeah, maybe. Tom says, Jim, I just printed 12 picnic tables in less than an hour, and they look more like HO scale now. Cool. So you could do multiples. I can't do multiple stuff like that because I tried it, and when I get a separation, because what happens is when it goes from one to the next, the plastic actually dries, and then it's not hot enough to secure the next layer. That's why you can't really do multiple things on a filament printer. Not very well, anyway. I never rotated the head to do that. Didn't realize that. Oh yeah, they will rotate. That's when most actions happen when you're in a hurry. You got that right, Tom. Dave, I don't know why, but I'm too terrible using a guide compared to a track. Okay. Yep, split rock that and these damn metric tapes. Well, as much as I hate metric, I have learned it to some degree. At least millimeters. And I'm starting to figure out centimeters, but millimeters are kind of a staple, especially in this hobby. A lot of things are done in millimeter. Square it up, measure it correctly, good. Okay. And it comes out good, maybe? Make this thing a little bit wider. All good. Yeah, there you go. I need some precision tweezers. Any recommendation? All the ones I have, the tips are bent, making them useless. That's something you don't want to skimp on, Heath. I got some cheap ones too, like this one right here. Where'd it go? I don't know where I got these from, but these are the. Let me go to the overhead. These are the cheapest tweezers you've ever seen. I mean, I just bent it, without even trying. These are totally useless. Sometimes they're good for picking up like the decals when I want to wet them, but you can't do any fine work with this. I would suggest going to what the hell's the name of that company? I can't think of it now. But go to a place that sells miniature tools, and they're going to cost you a few bucks, but it's worth the money if you're using them a lot, especially for precision work. Track saws are expensive, yeah. I much prefer metric. Well, Heath, you're weird. Yeah, Artie, with centimeters, just take the zero off. That's true. It's basically the same as inches, but without the zero. Jerry says, hey, Boxcar Jerry, how you doing, Jerry? Good to see you. He says, I like it. Well, like I say, after a while, you get used to it. How do they compare it to a table saw? Well, you can do more with a radial arm saw, or even a chop saw. I've got a table saw, too, that I do use. It's good for bigger work. Tom Grass, you off to make dinner now. Glad you got the stream working. Taught everyone. All right, Tom, thanks for coming by. Have a good weekend and enjoy your dinner. Heath, what do you want a track saw for? Jerry's asking. Portable table saws are fairly inexpensive. That's true, they are. That's what I got. It's a fold-up deal. I bought it at Home Depot. I think I paid maybe $149 for it, something like that. And it's I took them out here. Found out the blades are expensive though. I think they were 16-inch blades, and they were $25 for a blade. And that was for a cheap one. The expensive ones were almost $40-50. But the good news is you should get a lot of life out of a blade. Jerry, for cutting down plywood, I don't do it enough to get a table saw. That's true. Yeah, already mine too. Just got to tell everyone pick one per project. Heath, you don't do it enough to buy a track saw either. I'd prefer metric if we would be fully implemented. I still like using standard, but it's good to know a little bit of metric. I get confused when you start talking liters and stuff. They tried to sell gasoline by the liter some years back at the gas stations here. It didn't last long because nobody knew what the hell was going on. All it is, if you had a 20-gallon tank, you need like 80 liters. That's good, huh? What? And then people wonder if they were getting ripped off on the price and all, so they went back to gallons. What's that? Oh yeah, stick to one tape measure. You can end up 20 inches out in a long distance. That's funny you said that, Artie, because I was kind of arguing with my wife about it. Maybe she was right. She said you should always use the same tape measure when you're making measurements from one thing to another, because the different tape measures are different. They shouldn't be, but I guess maybe they can be. It's hard saying. Now that you brought that up, you might be onto something there. I mean, because I'll do that. I'll keep a tape measure, say, like on my table saw bench, or my chop saw bench, and I'll have another one that I'm doing my work, like, a little ways away from. I'll measure the work with the one tape, and they're two different brands, and then I'll go use the other tape measure to mark the wood that I'm cutting. And so far, I've been okay. I haven't had any problems, but I haven't done anything over 20 foot either. Ken Amos, hey Ken, how you doing? Jeff Terrero says, hey, sorry to be late, but I made it. That's all right. There's no such thing as late here. As long as you're not late for your own funeral, you're okay. So Ken says 8 inches rip of ply, 8 foot. plywood 8 foot, and add 1x2 cleat along back, and make your own saw guide. Yeah, that would work. Uh-oh, track saw can do anything a table saw does. Yeah, I guess it could. Another thing I'll do too, like if I want to use a skill saw, and I don't feel like dragging out the table saw, I'll take a piece of 2x4, clamp it on both ends on the plywood, and use that as a guide for my skill saw. And you could do that for any. You can do that for jigsaw, anything, any kind of hand tool. There's always a way. You just got to be a little, you got to think outside the box a little bit. And James Dundas says, no metric, no. Well, you kind of really need to know it, though, because a lot of stuff, unfortunately, is in metric. Even though you don't want it to be, but it's just something you can't get around. Chainsaw is faster, yeah, but not as accurate. Jerry, no more trees. Let's see, when I was in high school, they said metric system was only a few years away from full implementation. I remember when they said that. And they really did try and teach it to us, and most of us rejected it. We just didn't like the idea. It was, look, this is what we do. Let's just keep it this way. It'd be like, in England, probably Australia, I think Australia too, you drive on the wrong side of the car, on the wrong side of the road too, compared to us. It's not wrong, but if they wanted to convert us to left-hand drive, it would be a nightmare. Something that's been in place forever, just leave it alone. We don't have to match the rest of the world. They can do what they do, we do what we do. Yes, Artie, that's true. A lot, but actually, like food stuff, like canned goods and stuff and bottles, as a matter of fact, I think... where's my glasses? Yeah, my can of soda here, it says 12 fluid ounces or 355 milliliters. So they're doing both, and I guess they're probably secretly trying to get you used to it. But besides, how big is your can of soda? 12 ounce. I'm not going to say 355 milliliters because that don't make sense to me. I was mad when they started going, but engines, we used to go by cubic inches. If you had a 350 cubic inch engine, you knew what that was. What the hell is that in cc's? Hell, I don't know. Sounds big, but it ain't. So, like I said, sometimes we should just stick with what we got and not worry about it. We had to learn, especially in my line of work, both measurements. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's good to know some of the stuff. Steve says, that's why I hate those stupid roundabouts. We got them. They got them down. Well, they don't have any up here, but they had them in Naples. They started putting them in. And the worst part is, most people didn't know what the hell to do on them. Actually, I take it back. We got a couple here in Sebring, too. Most people don't know how they operate. It's very simple. But, once again, if you're not used to it, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And you're assuming that everybody knows how to use one. Even if you know how to use it, nobody else does, you got a problem. Let's see, let's go back to watching trains. There we go. Roundabouts are a pain in the butt. Nobody knows the road rules. Exactly. Most people don't. Not here, anyway. In England, I'm sure they do. But not here. Bearings are metric, but fits are imperial. Fits? 16-ounce curls make your arm stronger. Okay. Wisconsin went roundabout crazy a few years ago. I've not been to Wisconsin a long time, but I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I guess they're trying to eliminate traffic lights because the traffic lights are a pain in the butt too. And I said, my opinion, when they built the highway system, they really screwed up. They probably didn't know better. They probably didn't foresee what was going to come of it. But they should have built it without traffic lights. I mean, every road should be without traffic lights. Where you have underpasses or overpasses to cross roads. and then you could merge into lanes or merge out of lanes. It'd be a little more complicated, I guess, for road work, but it would save a ton of fuel and aggravation, because there's nothing I hate worse than sitting at a red light for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. It really pisses me off. Especially if there's no traffic. And in this state, or in this country probably, I know in the state, if you run a red light, even if nobody else is on the road, you still get ticketed, which is also stupid. Did everyone hear about Queen? Yeah, she passed away today. I believe she was 96. The bad part about that is, like I said, now you guys, England, the UK, is stuck with Charles. But I work my words. I think somebody's going to kill him because they really don't want him to take over as king. And I would not be surprised if he mysteriously dies right soon after he gets coronated, maybe even before. And I'm not sure who next in the line is. Was it Prince, one of the boys, I think. Prince Harry, maybe? I don't remember. But I have a feeling that things are not going to work well for Charles. Nobody likes him. And he's got like the ugliest life on the planet. Let's see. Land use is far greater with roundabouts and signal. That's true. It does take more real estate to do a roundabout. It's like the ones they do in Naples aren't even correct. They've got one lane. You're supposed to have a minimum of 2 lanes. You have the inside lane where you can just keep going around and around and around, and the outside lane where you go to make your turn onto whatever road in the intersection that's there. And they don't do it that way for some reason, and it's really kind of stupid. And I think there's nobody actually told them how to do it. Waycross says, I just read an article on the internet about railroads. Yeah, they're going to go on strike. Apparently they're not making enough money, which is really bad too. And yeah, you can't usually, it's going to be tough to run a semi over the roundabouts I've seen because they're too small for a semi. He'll be riding up on the ground, the grass with it. Let's see. Yeah, nobody likes Charles. You're right. No, they don't. Yeah, they're having a lot of problems with the railroad industry. I've been reading some stuff. Of course, there's also talk that we're going to run out of diesel fuel in a few months anyway, which I don't know if that'll actually happen or not, but if it did, that will definitely shut the trains and the trucks down, which will really screw everything over. Artie, it's just like the railroad. You have to give the trains the right of way, just like the trains have to do for us rail fans. Yeah, right. Heath, I don't know about the Rapido. I'm not sure about that. You'll have to do some research into that. Fits and measurements are imperative when it really matters. Well, that's true. It is. Wait till you see ours. Those are crazy. Yeah, I'll bet. Look, kids, Big Ben. Okay, that's a little weird. Working them to death, more like it. Yeah. Well, once again, they're understaffed, and I don't know if it's people don't want to work or they're just trying to save money. I understand a lot of people just don't want to work anymore. And the government's paying them to stay home, which also makes no sense. Says, will commuter lines go on strike if the class 1s do? Like, I don't know. They might. I don't think so, though. I think this is more for the freighters. BNSF, CSX, all them guys. And I don't know how much they get paid, but apparently they want more. And I think it's more than just money, too. I think they're looking for better working conditions. And it's like Dave said, that, they're working their asses off because they're understaffed. Semi not bad, but the B double and the road train a different story. Yeah, absolutely, Artie. Doesn't matter whether stop signs or roundabouts, people just plain don't know how to drive. Well, you're right about that, Ken. And they're really bad down here in Florida. think they just mail out driver's licenses anymore by the way they drive. Yeah, well, you know, there's no rules anymore. You know, I think, what was it, Texas? They're bringing back parallel parking for the driving test. Now, they did away with it. Now, when I took my test, I had to do parallel parking here in Florida, and people complained, and they took it off the test. Well, if you can't parallel park your car, maybe you shouldn't be driving. You know, it's the same with if you can't drive a manual transmission, you probably shouldn't be driving. So this is the problem, though. People cry and they complain, and then the authorities say, all right, we'll just let it go. And that's why you got idiots on the road now, because half of these idiots really can't drive. Kenny says most all U.S. trains are striking, if not all. Yeah, that's what I heard. If CSX and NS shut down, Norfolk Southern does strike, it will be a nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, of course it will. Because, let's face it, most of our goods are being shipped by train and then to the trucks. And a lot of this can be blamed on, our president, too, because he's not helping matters any. Our whole situation, our whole economy in this country is in deep shit. It really is. And I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Artie says, we have a thing where it's illegal to overtake a turning heavy vehicle. I collected many cars around the house. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to do. Ken, does that include light rail? I don't think so, Heath. I think that's more for freight. I could be wrong, though. I'm not 100% on that. I had to do that for my semi-driving test and my B-double driving test and reverse around the corner on the blind side using mirrors only. And like I said, you should be able to do that. I did that. Not with a double, but with a semi. And at one time, back when I had better vision, I was very good at it. And I could still drive a semi in places where people can't drive a car for some reason. But, some of us know what we're doing, and the rest of the people, I've had drivers that couldn't back their rigs up. I had to back their rigs up for them. I watched a guy struggling to back into a loading dock. And finally I say, look, dude, you want me to do it for you? Would you? Hey, get in there, no problem. One shot and I'm in there. I go, how long you been driving? Well, a couple of years now. Well, didn't you get any training? As I'm saying, I don't know how to get their licenses. It's crazy. See, your president needs to go into a padded jail cell just like our state government. Well, actually, you're being nice. I have a more permanent solution that I would rather see, but I can't talk about that. Never in history have witnessed FUBAR government. Yeah, well, it's here now, trust me. And it ain't gonna get no better. Yeah, see, I think we're going to call it a night in about 10 more minutes. It's almost 8 o'clock. We're going to shut down at 8 because I don't want to run over anybody else. Any other topics you want to bring up before we call it a night? Any questions on the stream deck? It would be hard to do step by step, like you said, and there's so many videos out there that will help you. But if you're running live stream and you want to be a step above the rest of the guys, you need a stream deck. It does make life easier. There's a lot of things that I couldn't do without it. I mean, Tom brought up a good point at Tom's Trains, and he says, it's all, what do you call it? Programming keys. You could do it on your keyboard. But it's work, and I don't like work because I'm lazy. Artie says, when you're sending your stream deck for me to test out. Sorry, I'm going to hang on to this one. He says, how do I set up a multi-action that mutes my mic, plays a video, and muted my mic and adds an overlay? Now you're getting kind of complicated there, Heath. I'm a beginner in this. I don't know that answer. You probably know more about it than I do. Your channel has really improved, Jim, looking professional. Thank you, Dave. It's better, and that was what I was looking for. You know, I like to do things right, and I kind of like to look professional somewhat. So, Artie says, I'm going to need a stream deck to see my trains. And that's true. These are good because, like I said, you can run multiple cameras through it. And I don't know I don't think there is any limitation, really, other than the amount of buttons you have and what your computer can hold. Heath, I thought you was a geek. He is a geek. But like the rest of us, I think he learns a lot too. So, right, Heath? Hey, Randall, how you doing? Good to see you. So, and like I said, if you're going to be running anything of any complex, go with a desktop. I mean, laptops are convenient and all, but a desktop has more computing power and more capability to handle multiple cameras and other things. Plus, you can expand it. You're kind of limited on a laptop. Jeff wonders how much was each camera? The cheap cameras, like this one right here. I paid $8 for this on Amazon, just for the camera. And most of my cameras are $8. I think I've got one that I paid $10 for. The one that does the rear shot back there. That camera will actually follow movement. I paid $40 for that on Amazon. Unnecessary, really, on the layout. But these generic cameras, they're no name. You know, they're made in China. But they're 1080p. They're zoomable. And they have a pretty good picture. I mean, well, you see it yourself on the screen. And for $8, you can't go wrong. He says, Jim, if you want to do something like that, I'll help you out. I may need your help down the road here real soon, probably. Like I said, I'm still learning some of this stuff. You know. And I really concentrated on it. I'm just like some scouring videos and everything else. I'm just not a fan of the new operating system of Windows. I use Windows 10. I refuse to use Windows 11. I liked Windows 7. I thought it was good, but when I built, both of my computers are fairly new, and the motherboards I got, they have the Ryzen chips in them, the AMD Ryzen or Ryzen, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, and they won't accept Windows 7, so I had to go to 10. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Randall. And he said, Jim, did you see the new Sony PTZ cameras that were just released? Only $12,000. I am thinking you should get 2 of them. Oh, as soon as you send me some money, I'll do that there, Heath. I'll have to be begging for a lot for that, 'cause I don't have the money for that. $12,000 for a camera. Sony makes some nice stuff, though, man. But it's way above my pay grade. Jim, I like setting up one button that does several things. Yeah, you can do that in this. I haven't well, actually I have, because like I said, this one here has got the music integrated with it. If I want to put music, I turn it up a little bit. And you should be hearing music, I believe. And that's all part of it. It's all integrated in the scene. Back now. Yeah, that's right, Randall. We're not made out of money. That's for damn sure. He says Windows 11 is better than 10. I would argue that. Oh, thanks, Jeff. They do look good up close. That's true, Artie. I mean, Amazon will, because I've returned things to Amazon all the time, and they'll pay for shipping. But there's the waiting game. That's the only bad thing. If you're in a hurry, then Amazon is not your best choice. Yeah, I think we all liked Windows 7. Good program, and I don't know why they. Well, I do know because the Windows 10 I have is a pirated copy. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but there's no spyware in it. It's very lean. It's a small program compared to regular 10. Because I wasn't a real big fan of 10 either when it came out, but like I said, I had no choice. But I absolutely will not do Windows 11. I don't like 11. I tried it. That's what I use my laptop for. I use my laptop to experiment with new OSs. And I loaded 11 on my laptop, and I'm going, nah, I'm going back to 10. Let's see. Like that, but you got to be suspicious anyway because, Gates was giving away 11. I don't trust anything that's given away for free. Almost getting my 2.3 i5 running. It will get 10 Pro. It's like 10 years old. Well, that's cool. Yeah, 95 wasn't bad either for its time, but it's limited compared to what you need today. Hey, OTR, how's it going? Artie says, I hate 10, I get lost in it. Jim, you can get a license for like $10. I don't need a license. Like I said, it's set up, and I don't have to worry about it. Plus, I got all the updates are turned off too. I don't get updates. I don't want the updates. Every time Microsoft updates something, it screws something up. So, if you like stripped down versions, get Win 11 IoT. I'm not aware of that. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, I don't like the spyware. That's what I said. That's true, Gerald. They did give away 10. But like I said, I wound up paying for it because, like I said, I bought an unregistered version. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good off the rails. That's a tight turn in the top right. Not really. The outside rail for the passenger rail, which is I can't really point at it. That rail there, the passenger rail is 30 degrees or 30-inch radius, and the inside is 28. It looks tight because of the camera angle, but it's actually pretty wide. Haven't had a computer since XP. Yeah, Dwight, people still use... My chiropractor still has 95 on one of his computers that he uses for a piece of equipment that he uses for the chiropractic. Hey, it works for him, so he said, I'm going to stick with it. Let's see. All right, Digger, have a good night, man, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. And I already said I built a desktop in '09. It's still going. It was an overkill at the time, but it lasted. Oh, that's the way to do it. Like I said, the one I put in the house was the first brand new one that I built. I mean, where I used up-to-date stuff. Because I used to use older tech. It was a little cheaper. But I said, screw it. I spent almost $1,000 on the one in the house. And if you actually bought that, it'd probably be a $5,000 computer. And then this one here I built a year later for the train room. And I think I got $400 into this. So this is equivalent of a $1,300 computer. But there's plenty of room for expansion if I need it. But I bought all up-to-date components for it, so. Yeah, and like I said, once again, you kind of get what you pay for to a certain degree. I just added 8 meg of RAM into this one because I had 16 in it, and it was starting to slow down, so now I'm up to 24, which makes a big difference. Not as good as the 64 I have in the house computer, but out here I figured I didn't need as much. But it does help on the live stream and on my editor, my Camtasia editor software. It makes a big difference on that too. So, as I said, it all works out. Alright guys, look, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the music up on this and I'll let it run for a few minutes. Maybe, if I can get it. You hear the music alright? Yeah, I still prefer AMD, sorry. Intel's okay, but I like AMD. There you go. Alright guys, listen to the music, enjoy it. I hope you can hear it. Yeah, I imagine the sound is better. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I had fun talking with you guys all night. Remember to, if you can, or if you want to, check out Tom's Training Things Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. On Track Tuesday, I think Redbird Tony's on next week. And, of course, Morning Brew with the Dave Server at 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. And then me again at 6. Alright, guys. Well, anyway, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the trains for a while and the music. And I'll see you next week. I'll let the music run for a few minutes before I shut her down. I don't know if you guys can even hear it. Can you hear the music at all? Do you hear it? Do you hear it on? Maybe you can. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the outro stream. Oh, she's a cutie, you know, the girl on the telephone. Oh, you like that? Yeah, she's been on my phone for about 10 years or so. Don't know who she is. But it's cool. Alright guys, have a good night. And that's going to be it for now. See y'all later.